All right, today's beer challenge is going to be between another American lager, Pilsner, versus a European one. And the American lager Pilsner that I have for you today is called Oyster City Tates Helles Lager from Apalachicola, Florida. Apalachicola is located not far from Panama City Beach. It's up there in the Panhandle. It's actually to the east of Panama City Beach. And I don't know anything about this brewery, but I saw it at the liquor store, and I saw that it was a Helles, and I decided to get it and try it against one of my favorites. Now, the Oyster City here is 5.5 ABV. It has a good score on the Beer Advocate. It's got an 85% rating, and the users rated it 3.67. We'll compare that to this. You can see this one's a little bit darker. I've had this one before. It's Czechvar or Budvar or the Czech Budweise. This is rated at 82 on Beer Advocate, and the users gave it 3.6. So Oyster City is rated a little bit higher than this. Now we can see it side by side that the Oyster City has retained more of a head. There was a head on here when I poured it, but that head has pretty much dissipated. But we still have a bit of a head here on Oyster City, which means that when I taste this, when I put this to my mouth, I'm going to feel the foam. So there's really no point in me doing this blindfolded, because I'll know right away which one I'm drinking. So we'll get right around to it. I have hopes for this. I do have hopes. An American beer that is brewed as good as a Munich Helles, or a Czech lager, or a Czech Pilsner, or a German Pilsner. Well, let's just see how it goes. It's good. It's good. I like it. It is really good. Perfectly balanced. Got a great blend of hops and malt. No sawdusty or dry aftertaste or finish. Not much of an aroma. Really can't smell anything. Now, I don't know, when I smell these beers and I don't smell anything, I don't know if it's me or the beer, because I question my sense of smell. I know I have a sense of smell because I can smell my own farts, but I don't smell anything here. That's a good beer. That's a good beer. That might just win. So, here goes the Budvar, the Czech Budweiser, or Budweise in German, from where it gets its name, because it comes from a town in Bohemia, in the Czech Republic, or Czechia, that's called Budweis in the German language. The Czech language, I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. This one tastes a lot like this, but how do I describe this? The flavor, let's see. A bit stronger. So I would say that if these hands represent the flavor, and it comes up from the bottom when you first take a drink, this one comes a bit higher, and this one's like this, and it kind of levels out like that. But this one's more pointed. I mean, that strong flavor comes on in the middle. Great finish. A great balance of hops and malt. I might have to go with the Czechvar because it's just a tad bit stronger tasting. Even though it's 5% ABV, it's slightly less alcohol than Oyster City, but it does have a bit more stronger flavor to it, and this is a bit more smoother. And the flavor is the same. It's like eating two apples that have the same flavor, but one apple just has more of that flavor, and that would be this. It's good. It's good. Damn good. And this is good too. But the flavor on this one, on the American Oyster City, it goes to the end. It goes all the way to the finish, where this one kind of drops off at the finish. If you can imagine how that might taste. You know, it's really hard to describe how something tastes verbally, especially since I'm not really sure of a lot of these beer flavors. Like I'll read descriptions of beer and they'll say it has a grassy flavor, and very rarely have I ever drank a beer that I thought had a grassy flavor. It's happened. And I've mentioned it in some of my videos. But there's a sawdusty feel to a lot of beers. And to me, that describes it adequately, and I think other people might describe it differently. But typically with adjunct lagers, I get that sawdusty taste at the finish. I'll drink it, it's got a nice hoppy flavor up front, a little bit of malt, and then as you drink it and swallow it, it's got this sawdustiness to it. Maybe you could say it's dryness. I don't know. I guess maybe I don't care too much for dryness in a beer, but I definitely don't like the sawdustiness very often. But that's good. Let me see if I can catch an aroma for this one. No, I don't smell anything. Now, when I pour these, I usually pour them as slowly as possible because I don't want to stir up the foam. Because I don't like flat beer, and the foamier it gets, the flatter it gets. And I like them to be as crispy and as carbonated as possible when I'm comparing them side by side. Because as you drink more, it's gonna foam. The bubbles are coming up. It's gonna lose carbonation, and it's gonna get slightly flat before you finish it. That last little bit of beer in here, by the time you drink it down to here, it's all flat, watery out. I don't care too much for that. So that's why I try to pour them slowly, try not to stir up a lot of foam. But when I cracked this can open, foam came out, even though it's been sitting in the refrigerator for hours before I open it. It's had time to settle. So it's just naturally foamy. Tates Helles, German-style lager. 5% ABV. It says 5% on the can. But on Beer Advocate, it said 5.5. I'm going to go by what the can says instead of Beer Advocate, because Beer Advocate can get their numbers wrong. So this beer is rated higher on Beer Advocate than this beer, but I'm not sure. I think this beer is a little bit better. It's good. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Czechvar again. By a hair. I mean, these beers are quite similar. But the Czechvar just has more flavor to it. The flavor is the same. It's like, how else could I describe this? It's like listening to the same song, but one's a bit louder. So that's how these compare. They taste pretty much the same, but this one's louder, a little bit stronger, a little bit more flavor to it, and that's why my preference is for this. And once again, these comparisons are not scientific, even though I'm a physicist. These are just subjective opinions, and it all depends on how I feel at the time. But generally speaking, my tastes in beer are fairly consistent. I mean, there are some beers that I don't like, and some that I do, just about every time, regardless of how I'm feeling. Sometimes I'll feel like I could go for an IPA, and sometimes I feel like I can go for a stout or a doppelbock or something dark and black. Most of the time, I just like a lager or a pilsner. It's like the go-to style. Where IPAs used to be my go-to style, but I just kind of got burnt out on them. Because sometimes I just think they're too hoppy. And especially if they're citrusy. Now, it's not that I don't like citrusy. I just got burnt out on the citrusiness for a lot of IPAs. And although I like hoppy beers and I like citrusy beers, sometimes the very citrusy ones I can do without. I'm not crazy about them. One of my favorite IPAs is Helles from Czech City Brewing out of Tampa. It's a good beer. It's got some citrusiness to it, but not too much. So, once again, Czechvar edges out a win over Oyster City. This is a good beer, and I will drink this anytime because it ranks right up there with the Czechvar. Probably also with the Hofbräu and the other Bavarian Helles. Oyster City, good job. You did a good job on this one. So, I was actually impressed and surprised at the first sip. But I'm not surprised that this one still came out on top. And now that I'm getting down to the end of these glasses, there's definitely a more of a difference that I can taste between the two of them. And I definitely prefer the Czechvar to Oyster City. But when it's fresh right out of the can, side by side, very close. And that's all I got to say about that. Capiche?